It's a movie set in a world where you can take a test to find out who your soulmate is. And the movie starts with two friends walking to take the test. And you find out on that walk that there's a very deep, close relationship between the two of them, a friendship. And she takes the test, and it's not him. And the movie unfolds through the rest of their lives as we move through their lives and explore their friendship and find out that they have feelings for each other. Is that a good explanation?
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a big love story, but in a way about friends and maybe more. But what do you do if... You did it better.
Can you tell us this is our first interview? Well, we met writing another film 15 years ago, and that was a love story as well. And when you are writing a love story, you obviously talk about relationships, and we were talking about how I was in a long-term relationship. I think you were single at the time, and you were like, how do you know she's the one? And I was like, I don't know. And then off that was like, well, what if you could know? What if there was a test that you could take and you'd find out? And then just suddenly the idea just started unpacking itself quite quickly in that conversation. And within 2 weeks, well, within the end of the conversation, we worked out like, here's a short story that we could film. Within 2 weeks, we'd shot the film over 2 days, and we'd made a short film, and that became the template for the beginning of the movie now. And over the kind of course of 15 years of us working on other stuff, we always just kept coming back to that story and that relationship and saying, well, where would they be? What would they be doing at this point in their life? Would they still be friends? What would happen? And I guess the movie now is a culmination of all those conversations we've had over 15 years.
I thought you were going to say that, and then it led you to one another, and then you both decided you should be together because you keep telling the same story.
Well, that's the other version.
That's TBD.
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely love the script, and it's actually an incredibly simple story, but it's the I suppose the largeness of the tragedy and how puny our lives are, and it's really noble when you watch characters make bad decisions because they have no other option, because their emotions are just dictating their choices in this way. And I think it's incredibly beautiful, and it was a sort of inventive twist on a romance drama, and I just loved the character, I loved the relationship, and I just was completely all in. I thought it was really rare.
It's also really funny. I think I have to say that. It's very funny, and Imogen is incredibly funny in it. And when I met Imogen, we were looking for the right person, and I knew that it had to be... I knew the whole film rests on what is between us, me and the other actor. And like the whole film is literally the space between them, that's it. And when I met Imogen on a Zoom, within 5 minutes I was like, I feel like I've known you my whole life. And it was important that they felt like friends who've known each other forever. And literally 5 minutes in, I was like, oh yeah, she's the one. And also, she's fucking funny. And I don't think she's done much stuff that's funny, with all due respect. If you've seen most of her films, they're fucking dark. And so it was like a real exciting to go, A, she's perfect, B, she's brilliant, and C, this will be a surprise for people that she's so funny. We just sort of, we hung out a lot and we spoke a lot, and...
It was very natural, but I think that's also the guerrilla nature of making, like with indie cinema, you're not sequestered away in different parts of the set. Like you end up hanging out all the time. And I think that was crucial. I don't understand how you could make this film if you weren't in flow with somebody the whole time, because it's so exposing and vulnerable, but it's also, with all the comedy and stuff, you want to get to know one another and feel completely free. But I think it was actually the nature of how we made the film, is that we were literally, it was very familial, and we moved together like a little unit everywhere, and everyone took care of one another, but it wasn't, that's the kind of beauty of filmmaking in this way, is that ultimately it's the humanity behind it, and then everybody's just sort of becomes incredibly close.
A lot of time in the back of a car,
yeah.
like mostly because we were like moving off into like fields and beaches, and and we'd
It was
just
a
be.
nice car.
It was a very lovely. Listen,
I
no
think the car was
disrespect to
more
the car.
expensive than
The car was fucking beautiful, but we spent a lot of time sat in the back of the car, like, while things were being set up. And when I think about when you were like, how did you bond and stuff, I'm like,
Tell me about your childhood. Yeah.
it was sitting in the back of that car, just.
Yeah.
It was more wild cackling.
Yeah.
Like when I was coming in to kind of give you something, so you could just hear as you're coming up to the van, like, and you come in and like,
Like we were making evil plans.
yeah. The scene where you're really sad, yeah, and you shut the door and you hear, as you walk off. So I think they were getting on.
Yeah. There are some heavy scenes in this, and when we had the heavy scenes, we would sort of naturally.
Well, we'd stand in the same room, but we would be on the other side of the room as opposed
Until
to.
we, you know what I mean? Like all the fun scenes, we'd hang out all the time, and all the serious scenes, we'd stand at just sort of quietly and then come in and.
Yeah.
I remember when you had to do that, the big scene at
yeah.
the end, and you'd finish and you two off in the corner, and someone came up to me and said, "Tell them there's some snacks waiting for them."
We were like crying
We're
in
just,
the corner.
we're just little actors.
I think I remember you coming over. We were crying.
Yeah.
Do you want a snack?
Absolutely. Besides, do you want snacks, guys?
Yeah. We didn't take the snacks.
I loved working on this film. I mean, it's such a breath of fresh air to do something light and real. And obviously, I've done quite a lot of genre work, and I've been covered in slime, sort of crying with bodily fluids dripping down my legs. So it was really nice to do something with it was just a great script. The script was all there, and then it was really fun to get confident with two absolutely fantastic men who wanted my input and encouraged that and supported that, and we all wanted the best thing for this film. And I think there was something about the collaboration on this film that meant a lot to me. That was just incredibly free, but sort of the vision was very clear. But I just had a lot of fun. It's really nice. It's really nice having a fun time. It was really lovely. Like I genuinely, it was a magical filming experience. It was great.